All right. So reminder, presentations are tomorrow. Those get home, please just submit that recording on the announcement tomorrow, along with your bell ringers, because that's the last day of the week. So that is stated in the announcement. So don't post it a while now. Don't post it to yesterday's assignment, the day before. You wait till tomorrow to post that, because I won't look at it. I won't look at it. So if it's not posted to the assignment tomorrow, sorry, no can do. All right. Bell ringer for today. There we go. So why do people refer to FDR's New Deal as the alphabet soup of recovery? So use examples of his plan to describe your response. There you go. I'll give you a couple minutes to work on that.
Did you already look at the Bellringer from last week, or do we have to?
No, you're good. It was just for the remote students I posted that. I forgot to tell them to attach the bell ringers to that announcement, so I just made a new assignment, and I have to put those grades in, so thanks for reminding me. Nice Crocs, Alyssa. Yeah. How do you keep them clean? Bleach? No, okay. Yeah, I have black ones, and they always get dirty. Yeah. Going to the auction Friday? You don't know yet? No, okay. Kevin, how you doing, man? Doing good? All right. How's the bell ringer coming for you? All right, good. I'll give you another minute to finish up here. All right, so why do people refer to FDR's New Deal as the alphabet soup of recovery? Use examples of his plan to describe your response. So real quick, 3 R's. What are they? What are the 3 R's? What do we got? What do we got? Go ahead, Haley.
Relief, recovery, and
Yeah, good job. Relief, reform, and recovery. Good job. So who are we showing relief to? What? Who are we showing relief to? Yeah, who in particular? This rate was at 25%, which was alarming to many Americans, to many people. People without jobs, right? The unemployed. Okay, good, good. So we're trying to relieve and show relief to the unemployed Americans. All right. What about reform? Chris, what do you have for reform? Okay, good job, good job. So yeah, capitalist economy. That's what the United States is known for, and what we're intending to keep and hold strong. But during the Great Depression, it was an idea where we maybe need to show some relief in government-funded jobs and agencies with a mixed market economy. So including some social programs to help benefit society and culture in the United States. Okay, good. And then finally, we have recovery, right? So recovery is just plain and simple. Government's just trying to increase its role to make sure that people have the opportunities, have the jobs they need, increase funding to help build the infrastructure in the United States. Okay, like schools, roads, bridges, dams to generate power, you name it. You got that, Kevin? All right, good, good. All right, so why they refer to the alphabet soup? Why they refer to it as the alphabet soup? What do you have here for this, Alyssa?
it refers to it because it's the acronyms of all the little.
Yeah, yeah, good job. So the acronyms of these New Deal agencies, right? They're all different types of letters, right? And you guys know that with your presentations that are going to be due tomorrow. All right, so we're going to talk about a few of them today, and some just in particular, just to discuss them, go over them, and then obviously tomorrow you guys will do some research and go over some more. So that's what we're looking. That's what we're looking at. So good, good, good job. Is there any questions on that? So the alphabet soup again. There's just really almost hundreds of New Deal agencies that were created to try to help benefit the American society, give them hope, give them opportunities, give them jobs. And how did FDR communicate with the people during this time to reassure them that he's doing the best he can and make sure that he's going to keep them on the right track? What were those things called, Lance?
Radio.
Yeah, through the radio, but what were they called? Do you remember? What kind of chats? Yeah, good job. The fireside chats. Good, good job. All right, any questions on that? We good? All right, moving on here. Moving on. Let's see what terms we have for today. And this will be it. Don't worry about the other ones. I will make sure that whoever we went over is it and is on for the quiz or the test for Wednesday. So second New Deal, WPA, pump priming, and Social Security Act. There you go. I'll give you a few minutes to work on that. Do not meant to finish up here. All right, so second New Deal, what do we got? What do we have for the second New Deal? Andrew, what do you have, buddy?
I have the second New Deal, the term used by contemporary commentators and historians to characterize the second stage, 1935 to 1936 of the New Deal programs of President Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Good job, good job. So right at the start of FDR's presidency, they call it the first 100 days. He tries to push out executive orders and pack the courts in his favor to make sure he could pass as many New Deal agencies and government-funded jobs and opportunities for the people. And then the second new wave, the second New Deal, was created right around towards the end of his first presidency, almost in a way to kind of help him get reelected and in a way for more support for the American people. And one of the biggest things, which is still around today, is the Social Security Act, which was created. Okay. And obviously, no one's going to really complain about that. All right, WPA, what do we have? What's the WPA? Autumn, what do you have for the WPA? You didn't get there yet? Okay, sorry. Lance, what do you have?
Work Progress Administration.
Yeah, good job. What is that?
It was American New Deal agency employing millions of job seekers, mostly unskilled men, to carry out public work.
All right, yeah, good job. So again, one of these organizations that was pushed out to try to help build the infrastructure of the United States. So roads, construction of public facilities, like I said, schools, museums, libraries, you name it. Okay, good. And that was a part of the second New Deal as well. Pump priming. What do you have for pump priming? Haley, what do you have? Haley Claire? You got it. Good job. So all these New Deal agencies, all these ideas that were created by FDR was an idea of pump priming. Okay, you need to try to prime the economy, try to boost the economy. And his way of doing that was through these government-funded agencies and really help and aid. Okay, got that, Kevin? And then finally, the Social Security Act. What do we have? Chris, what do you got?
Act was created for insurance against some women. Part of the program.
Yeah, good job. So part of the second New Deal, and this was an idea that gave people benefits, gave them a source of income if they're disabled, if they're older, retired, if they no longer can work. Obviously, by a certain age limit, they can receive that. And this is for single mothers, okay? Single mothers. So this is overall supposed to give these people a wage that can no longer work or have the ability to work. And this is still around today and is used as a form of identification, right? Your Social Security number, everybody has one. There's arguments, oh, it's going to be dried up by the time we get here, by the time we get to our age because of the boomers, right? Oh, who knows? Who knows? And this wage is taken out, this amount of money is taken out through income tax, right? So people that do work, tax comes out of their pay, which helps contribute to this act, right? So when we're that age or something happens where we're disabled, we get to receive some of this help, this government-funded help. All right, is there any questions? You good? All right, moving on. I just want to go over a few of these New Deal agencies with you and then have the study guide ready for you and you can work on your projects. I have a video. If we don't get to it, I'll have the link shared so you can just view it on your own. I like to show it though, so we'll see. All right, so relief, reform, recovery, we talked about that a lot, and that's how FDR is going to try to move the United States in the right direction. Remember, President Hoover kind of sat back, relaxed, and tried to let the good times roll, and it wasn't too good. So he had to come up with these new ideas, which maybe prolonged the depression a little bit more. And then finally, towards the end of his presidency, public works programs. And that's what FDR uses here with this New Deal and a second New Deal. All right, so the first 100 days, put people back to work. All right, so his first 100 days in office of FDR, he signed really the most executive orders possible. It was to a point where he was trying to pack the courts, so to make sure that what he was doing, what he was trying to accomplish, wouldn't get any kickback. Right? So he's packing the courts, which means it's the judicial branch, right? The Supreme Court, which rules different type of legislation, if it's constitutional or not. And he knew the only way that these New Deal agencies, these different types of government-funded jobs and agencies, the only way that they would pass is if everybody was aligned with the right beliefs and with the same mindset about these new ideas. And what was concerning? What do you think? Why are people concerned about this, you think? Why do you think people were concerned about him packing the Supreme Court? Why do you think people were concerned about him trying to increase the role of government in society? Chris? Yeah, right? Communism, right? Wait a minute. This doesn't align with America's interests, with private business, free market. Okay, all of a sudden now it seems like he has a grasp, a hold on American politics, that he controls really what is said and done. It's almost like he's a what? What do you think? What's that term used, which we're going to talk about a lot next chapter? Haley? Yeah, dictator, right? Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of people that kick back against him with this. Although, you got to think about it. Many of these people are unemployed and needed some hope and opportunity, so they accepted it. It's like, hey, this is the role of government in our lives, especially during a depression. We need help. We need some sort of assistance. And many people that still had jobs, maybe some people that, were wealthy, they thought, you know what, he's taking this power to the extreme, right? Many people consider these New Deal agencies maybe prolonging the depression, right? Let's face it, there's no hope. There's no way of knowing, so maybe the government should increase. And we talked about it with the alphabet soup, relief, reform, recovery, with these public works programs. That's how he's accomplishing and trying to pass out this legislation, which were these New Deal agencies. All right, so government must increase consumer purchasing power, restore prices, and needed some sort of way of producing and providing jobs to the people. And again, this is his New Deal. This is his idea of creating these agencies where people can work and help with the infrastructure of society in the United States. And he's kind of taking the idea of Teddy Roosevelt, right, with his square deal. The only way you're going to earn a wage, the only way you're going to see some sort of opportunity and some benefit from the government is if you're working, if you're providing for the community, if you're providing for the infrastructure in the United States, if you're helping building these roads, these bridges, these schools, these libraries, right? You're just not going to receive it from doing nothing, right? Okay. Does that make sense, guys? All right, good. So that he's just providing these jobs. The only way you can see this assistance, this type of wage or pay, is as long as you're helping with the infrastructure in the United States, if you're helping provide through these New Deal agencies or programs. And again, a lot of these New Deal agencies are maybe regional. Maybe they're just focused in a state. Maybe they're just focused in a certain area. Or maybe it's nationwide, right? Kevin, you got that, buddy? All right, good. All right, moving on. You guys good? Hold on. Okay. I'll give you one more minute here. Oh, now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. First one I want to talk about, Civilian Conservation Corps, the CCC. I know I mentioned this before through the vocab terms, but this was something very, very important for these young young adult males. They're provided shelter, a home. They're provided a wage. They're provided food. Right? It's almost like a summer camp. The only thing they have to do is really just try to increase on parks, plant trees and different types of vegetation, especially out in the Midwest that was affected by the Dust Bowl. This was a creation of national parks, state parks. Okay. And the idea of this was that would make it sure that these young adult males were optimistic, that they had a different viewpoint of kind of the way things were going like in America. Obviously, they're going through depression. There's really not much hope. But if we provide maybe these almost like a boarding school, a summer camp for these kids where they can come together and work on the environment, improve the environment, then that would push the U.S. individuals, the young generation, in the right direction. That we're conserving the environment, that we're helping out by creating these national parks and making sure that some of this land is used for farming, and we can maybe regenerate that area in the Midwest for farming. And it increases the idea of these young men to have a bigger role in the environment, in America's natural beauty. Does that make sense? Yeah, so provided home, given food, given a wage, and they're helping the environment in the United States. So this lasts about 8 years. All right, 8 years. Why do you think it only lasted 8 years? What do you think came around where all these young men had to go and fight and risk their lives? World War II, right? World War II. So that's kind of when it ended. Some of these ideas and from the CCC still carry out today in different types of organizations and groups where they're improving the environment still. But for the most part, this only lasted right up until World War II. All right, next one. You guys good with the CCC? So remember, young adult males. That's who they're targeting. Helping the environment. TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority. Okay. And like the Hoover Dam, this was a way to try to inspire industrialization into these areas that don't have power generation, that don't have factories, businesses, jobs, right? It's almost like a rural setting. I won't call it a dead zone, but it was an area where there's not much economic growth. There's not much industrialization occurring there. And a way to try to inspire that is power generation, okay? And if they're using this power generation through different types of dams, then they're going to have a water supply where they can help these people with supplying water to them for living. So they have electricity, they have water, okay? That's a way of inspiring industrialization into these remote areas. Now let's face it, if we have more jobs, if we have industrialization spread across the whole United States, not just in one specific area, does that help with the economy? Does that help with, producing different types of supplies and giving people jobs and opportunities? Yeah, of course it does. So during this time in the 1930s, this is where you see more of a modern style of the United States. And all the way up until 1930s, 1920s, a lot of the U.S. was still focused on agriculture. But right around 1930, kickstart to World War II, we'll see more, I guess you could say, industrialization, modernization, and advancement of the U.S. You guys good with that? Okay, cool. And with that water reserve, you can use that to help irrigate crops, right? All right, another one. What's up? Yeah. Good? Okay. Next one, AAA. Okay. AAA, right? They'll help you on the long side of the road. I'm just kidding. So AAA, Agricultural Adjustment Agency, right? This was really established to try to help out these farmers during these tough times. Remember, we talked about it. At the end of World War I, the United States government was saying, listen, we need to try to produce as much crops as possible, and no one told them to stop. And we talked about the issues that arose from that. Right now, with the Agricultural Adjustment Agency, This was a way of the government telling farmers, stop growing, stop producing crops. Well, how are they going to make money? Well, the government's going to supply a living to these people. The government's going to give them a set of wages to help with this oversupply. They're going to give them money to compensate for their losses that they would accumulate through growth of crops. So pretty much this government agency is saying, here's money, do not grow any more crops, do not grow any more food. We need to make sure that this price of your crops and goods at the market increases. We need the prices to actually raise for you to make a living. Okay, that we don't have this oversupply or surplus. And what do you think that they're going to do with that surplus, the government? What do you think they're doing with that surplus of crops to try to eliminate it even more? So yeah, they're paying the farmers now to not grow food, which is kind of crazy to think about. Okay, but again, they're trying to make sure that that oversupply doesn't continue to lower the price. But what else? What is the government doing with that oversupply of food and crops? What are they going to do with that oversupply? Kind of talked about it before, where these people would kind of gather in a line and they're given food in these towns and cities. Go ahead, Haley. The bread lines, yep, good job. So they're going to distribute this oversupply. They're going to buy it up actually in the marketplace to supply for these Americans that don't have the opportunity to buy food, okay? So this is a very, very important agency. Kind of unbelievable to think about. Here's money. Do not do your job. Do not grow crops, okay? If you continue to do that, this is going to really saturate that market. This is going to create more of an oversupply, and the price is going to lower even more. So here's money. Don't grow any food. Are you guys good with that? Yep. Okay. NRA, the NIRA, National Industrial Recovery Act. All right. And really, this was kind of similar to what Teddy Roosevelt established during the Progressive era. All right. So we're going to try to limit that work week of 40 hours. Why? Because if people were limited to 40 hours, this will give someone else the opportunity to have a job. And if more people have jobs, this is going to decrease the unemployment rate. And this is going to allow for more people to have the opportunity to make money, make a wage, and that they can spend out in the economy. Because if people are working overtime, that's going to maybe take away a job for someone else. Does that make sense? Oh, good. All right, it's going to set prices and control kind of the market in a way to try to eliminate cutthroat competition, right? If there's too much competition, then that will maybe take away from the smaller business. This will allow these monopolies to form where these big industries will just take over and buy up all the smaller industries and businesses and markets, right? Again, competition is good. But at the same time, too much of it could cause an issue, could cause a problem, could force these smaller businesses out of business, right? Could lose their jobs. Set the minimum wage to 30 cents to 40 cents an hour. Wow, now we're looking to $15. So minimum wage, trying to increase that to try to help benefit the Americans, make sure they have a little bit more money in their pockets. And then child labor abolished. Why? Because children need to be in school. They need to learn. They're going to have to lead our country moving forward. An increased role of academics in the United States. We need to have educated individuals moving forward. So the NIRA, setting up standards for industry, increasing minimum wage, eliminating competition, cutthroat competition. Right? Very, very important. And that's very similar to, we talked about him already, Teddy Roosevelt, right? Teddy Roosevelt. So progressive politics run in the family. Finally, the last one I want to go over. You guys ready? PWA. PWA. Public Works Administration. All right, so this is, again, this whole idea of the New Deal. Pump priming. Government spends money to create jobs. Projects need materials, workers, wages, increase buying power, stimulate the economy. So if the government's increasing their role by helping out the individual with jobs and opportunities, then this might stimulate the economy. Okay, especially with those power generation, right? If government kind of pushes money and resources and job opportunities to these areas, then this will spread industrialization. This will spread the opportunity for individuals to create private businesses and jobs in these areas that were remote for many, many years. Okay. Create factories for these places that may have never seen it before if government wasn't trying to focus on these areas. All right, so these ideas are all great, right? Okay, especially during depression. Maybe that's what we need, some hope, some opportunity, some way of government to try to help the people out during these hard times. But is it sustainable? We talked about this. Is it sustainable? What do you think, Wentz? No, why not?
There's not enough money to put into the economy. Like it was before the depression.
Yeah, good job. We need private industry. We need the free market to come back, right? Okay. Government-funded jobs and government-funded money is good to an extent, but it's not going to keep this going over a long period of time, right? It's not going to keep this going. And that's what kind of the idea was for the TVA. Right? That was the idea of creating the Hoover Dam so that this would inspire more of the free market to come back. But with these New Deal agencies, it's not going to be sustainable over a long period of time. Something needs to be increased. Something needs to happen with the free market and private business. Okay. All right. So, yes, President Roosevelt, FDR here, in a way, many people viewed him as a dictator. Many people viewed him as a way of trying to control politics in his favor to pass out these New Deal agencies. During the Great Depression, was it needed? There's an argument for it, right? There's an argument for it. Yeah, 25% unemployment. Maybe no, because this is too much of government involvement into people's lives. This prolonged the depression by these government agencies. Again, it's kind of your opinion, your idea of it. All right, so here's some of the public works projects that we talked about here. All right, so creation of roads and bridges, creation of power generation, reservoirs with water supply to irrigate different types of agriculture, helping people live out in these areas with water supply. We'll talk about it more. Pipelines, gas, oil to help provide for these industries, for people to travel, and especially when it comes back around, the military for World War II. That's why we have this aircraft carrier here. We'll talk about that more when we get towards World War II. But FDR kind of maybe saw things coming down the road. That, you know what? Sooner or later, we might be in an entanglement. We need to maybe increase our military. Think of new ideas to have the upper hand. Right? Nuclear bomb. We'll talk about it. All right, is there any questions? That's it. That's all the notes I have for the Great Depression. I was going to show you a video, but you can check it out on your own. I want to give you some time to work on, obviously, your projects. They're due tomorrow. And then the study guide, don't worry about that just yet. I'll be due, well, would it be Tuesday next week? So, yeah, you have time to work on it. I want to make sure I pass it out for you now so you have the opportunity to work on it and look it over, check it out. But if you want to, work on your projects. You got about 5 minutes. Does that sound good? Okay, remember, remote students, please, please, please post your recorded presentations to tomorrow's announcements along with your bell ringers. All right, see you.